Go on, fussy niggers, tell the warrior crew what day it is today. False 10 day, today it's false 10 day. Yeah, that's right, now you cat. False 10 day, today is false 10 day. Yeah, that's right everybody, today it's false 10 day. And here we have it, my lovely old Vango false 10. Now it's in 2 bags. And that bag there, as you see, that is a bag from a Mark IV. But this is not a Mark IV, it is a Mark 5. So this bag's the right bag for it. Well, I don't even think this is the right bag because it says Mark 5 standard. But this 10 is a muta version. So it's the more heavy duty version. And I've got it in 2 bags because that other bag has got another fly in it. So I keep the inner and the original fly in this bag here, and the extra fly and the poles in that other bag. Now I know I've made this tent a lot more bulky by doing it like that, and I've got it in 2 bags, but this tent is fantastic with 2 flies on it, and I've used it like this for years. And this is how I keep it. Oh, I have got a ground sheet that I use with it in that other bag. I probably won't bother with that today because I'm only putting it up to have a little look at it. As you can see there, that's the big heavy duty motor inner and the original orange fly. Now that's a canvas fly, that one. Big heavy duty canvas fly. Quite heavy, that one. In this other bag here, I've got the poles and a nice lightweight nylon fly for it. It's still an old fly sheet off of an old Vango. It's not a modern one. This is an old vintage fly, this one, but it's a nylon one. So it's much lighter. And I sort of got hold of it like years ago. You'll see when this goes up, the orange fly on this is just so faded. There's nothing wrong with it, but it is just so faded. It's not really like orange anymore. That's because me and my mate lugged this thing everywhere when we was kids. And they are the original pegs for it there. Look, nice big really long steel pegs. Brian would like them. Look at them, Brian. They're lovely big heavy duty steel pegs. Long as you like, mate. Because Brian loves a heavy duty metal peg. He does not like them bubblegum ones. So this tent has got all its original pegs with it. Yeah, it's got all its bits, this tent. And extra bits. Extra fly. Now, sort of, because of what I was saying, like me and my mate used this tent tons when we was kids, so the orange fly is really faded. It's not knackered or nothing, it's just really faded. So like, I thought, oh, I might get another fly for it, change it. So I was sort of looking about for another fly, and then years ago I used to go in like a camping shop, and the bloke used to have second-hand stuff for sale and all that. He had a fly in there, this one, for sale, nothing else, just this fly sheet. So I see it in there and I was like, is that for a Mark 5 Vango? He's like, yeah, it's a nylon fly. But and I thought, right, I'll have that. I'll swap it over with the fly on my canvas one. So I bought this fly. And that is there, that silver thing, that's just the ground sheet I use for it. One of them reflective ground sheets, but I'm not going to bother putting that under it today. I'm only pitching it up to sort of make sure it's all right, because me and Jess are going away in this in a few weeks. I just want to check it's all here, make sure it's all good, because I haven't had this up for a while. I do know it's all going to be here and it's all going to be good, but I'm just checking, because we're away bank holiday weekend for 4 days. Last thing you want to do is get there and realise you ain't got a bit of the tent. So I'm just like checking it all out today, really. Make sure it is all good. And I just thought, like, why I'm going to get it out of the bag and check it anyway. I might as well put it up and do a little video on the lovely old false 10 for the channel, innit? So that's what we're doing today. Checking it out and making the little video. So you see there, it's got the poles. They are the 2 bits that go on the top of the poles, top of the A-frame. And the poles on this one, because this is a muta, these poles are more heavy duty. They are bigger than the poles on a normal Mark 5. I've got another Mark 5. I've got a lightweight one, and that one has also got the thin nylon fly with it, not the heavy duty canvas fly. But that is like a sort of lightweight one. It's not an ultralight, it's still heavy, but it is much lighter than the muta one. And that one, it's like the inner's not as thick, the ground sheet's not as thick, the poles aren't as thick. I'll put it up another day, that one, and show you it. It looks like exactly the same tent as this muta one, but it is not. This muta one is so much more heavy duty and so much better built than that lightweight one. Still a nice tent, that lightweight one. It really is. It's a lovely tent, but the poles are thinner and all that. It is much more, well, lightweight, really. I just love this one because I've had this one since I was a kid. And me and my mates have had a ton of adventures with this thing, so I absolutely love this false 10 of mine. But that other one is good, the lightweight one. If you're like lugging it about and all that, it's better than this one to carry about because it is quite a lot lighter. Everything about it is much lighter. I should put them up, really. I'll try and do that another day, innit? Should get them both. I won't be able to do it in my garden. I won't fit two of these out there, but I should try and go out in the field and put them both up side by side, and then we can have a look round what the differences are and that, because they would look the same, but they are very different. So there you have it. Look, that plastic bit there, that is like the top of the A-frame, and then the canvas of the tent and that sits over that spike. So it's got two of them bits. All these Mark 5, not the Mark 5, all these false 10 tents are like that. I have got a few. I've got a Mark 4, Mark 2 and a Mark 3. I love these Vango false 10s. And I've also got another one that's called a Vango Kingfisher. And it is basically a false 10, but it's just like called a Kingfisher for some reason. It's really the same as a Mark 4, but it's in like a brown colour and it's called a Vango Kingfisher. But everything about it is the same as a false 10. That's a nice tent. I like that tent. I've had it a right long time, the old Kingfisher. Lovely it is. I'll get that up another day. And I bought that second hand in the same shop that I got this fly from. Bought it off the same bloke. He used to get a load of stuff, this bloke. All second hand, like camping gear and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, I used to love his shop. I bought loads of things off him over the years in there. I was gutted when he shut the shop. He was like an old boy, so he like retired and just closed the shop down. So as you see there, look, the ridge pole, it just goes on that spike at the top of the old A-frame, and the same at this end. So let's just get it on the old spike. There you go, goes on easy, and that's it really, the frame is up. All it is these two end bits and that ridge pole, that is the frame up. It's a bit wobbly until you get the inner on it and get a few pegs in it at the bottom holding it all in place. What I would do, if I was like on my own doing it, I'd quickly put a guide on either end of the spike and peg it out at either end, and that would hold it in place lovely. And then, but you just have to take them down before you put the fly on. But as Jessie's here, I'll just get her to hold it while I clip the inner on and then just put a few pegs in the bottom, and then it'll hold itself up lovely. So that's what we'll do. We'll put the inner up. So this inner, it's got like a clip. I find it easy. Start with the middle clip. It's got like that white clip there, and that clips on the middle of like the ridge pole. And then you go to the ends, and it's got this little metal clip here on the bungee, and that goes on that bit there in the middle of the A-frame, that little clip. Just clip that through there, and that holds the end, and then it's exactly the same at the other end. It does exactly the same. And what I would say, if you see me clip that white clip on the middle, there's like a strengthening pole on this one that goes over the middle joint to make that ridge pole more strong. The normal or that lightweight version that I haven't got, it hasn't got that. Hasn't got that strengthening sleeve that goes over the ridge pole. So you clip the ridge pole together and then you slide that sleeve over the middle joint The other one I got hasn't got that bit on it. So you see there, like the inner's sort of hanging up now at either end. Now you just go to these, get hold of these loops and chuck some pegs in it, and then it'll hold itself up. Once you get like the four corners pegged, just go through them loops there, chuck a peg in it, peg it down. They're like big rubber loops on this one. So I'll put a peg through that one, and then I'll just start working my way round. I should go round, do the back first, pull the back out, and then like do the same. Just put a peg in it, and it'll slowly start taking shape and holding itself up. So that's a peg in that one, and you can see it's got the bungees above which kind of pulls the inner out, but I will do them after, because sometimes you don't get this right doing it like this, so I might have to like whiz round again and just move it a little bit. That's why I'm not pegging out the other ones as well, because then if I need to move it, I've got to move all of them. Whereas like this, if I need to move it a little bit, I've only got to like move the pegs on the bottom of the inner. And it is, the base on this inner, it's really thick and heavy duty, this base. That is like, weighs a ton, that base bit, compared to the other ones. But I like this one because of that, because it's like, it's so thick, this base. It's lovely, this tent. It is a bit like indestructible, this old one. It's built so much better than a normal one, as in strength wise and robustness. This thing's like fantastic for that. If you've got to lug it miles, no, the other one's better because it's much lighter. And there is like loads of different models of these false 10s, isn't there? Because one of my friends had a Mark 5, and it was different again. The thickness of his poles were kind of in the middle of the two. My light one, the poles were thinner, but his poles was not as thick as the poles on this one. So he had one that was kind of in the middle. But it wasn't called nothing different. It was just a Vango Mark 5 False 10. But it was different again. So there's probably other ones out there, and all. There's probably loads of different versions of this tent. They all look the same, but I bet a lot of them are just slightly a little bit different. Because like this tent's been made for years and years, isn't it? So they must have made a load of different versions. And this is what I like to do with this. See, on the frame, it will slide out, this frame, so I normally put a peg on it like that and peg the frame down. But it's weird. On my other version and some of the other false 10s I've got, they've got a hole in the bottom of the frame on that foot part, so you can whack a peg through it. But this one hasn't got them, so this one I do it like that. I just put a peg in and like turn the peg and just do it to the like leg. I'll do the same with this one, because otherwise they tend to slide. I just put a peg in it like that and just loop the head of the peg over like the foot on the frame. But like I said, the other one I got, it's got a hole in that foot part, so you actually put a peg through it. But this one hasn't got that, so you have to do it like that. You can do it another way with a bit of string. Just tie the bottom of the frame to the peg on the corner. I've done that before, but I find it just as easy to just put a peg in it. So I should do the same with this one. Because it's like, if it sort of slides out this leg, once you got the fly and that on it, it all kind of, your tent goes a bit out of shape and all that, and they do slide a bit now and again. So I'm just in the habit, I always put a peg in and it just locks them into place. They can't move, just like that, and then them feet can't move. It doesn't really need it, but I have had it move, so I'm just in the habit of doing that, and then I know for a fact that frame is not moving anywhere. So that's all the like ground sheet part pegged down. It's all in place now. The frame's pegged down, so I just go round and do these bungees, and then it like just holds the sides of the inner out, holds the little bathtub out. So I normally do it like that on the corners, but then these middle ones, they need their own peg to pull them out. So pull the little middle one out, whack a peg in that, and then this back one, we'll just like hook on that peg that I've done on the frame, done to hold the frame in place. So just hook that over there, and that's it. The little bathtub bit will start standing up. Same at the back, just pull them out and then whack a peg in it. Where's the peg? There you go. Just do the same now, and then same again on the other side. Just pull it out and chuck a peg in it. There you go. And then just do the last few down this side. So it just pulls the bathtub out nice, basically, these ones. So that's that one done. Let's do the last one at the front, and then we're all done. And look there, lovely, made in Britain by Muta. Lovely. So that's it all pegged out, really. That is the inner on to the frame. So look, lovely, look at that, proper strong as you like, old Vango False 10. Go anywhere in that, do what you like in that, you'll be as snug as a buggy now, because that is fantastic inside this tent. Is its best feature, this tent. Any of you people who own one of these, you know how lovely they are inside, innit? They've got such a nice shape to it, and the way all the back curves round and that, they're fantastic to sleep in one of these tents. They really are. So if you ever get a chance to get your hands on one of these, or you know someone who's got one, if you know someone who's got one of these, ask them if you can borrow it, just so you can take it camping for a few days. And I bet you fall in love with it, because these old Vango False 10s are really, really special tents, they are. To use, I'm saying about that. You use one, you can't help but love them. These things are like special tents. They really are enjoyable to use. So let's get the old original fly sheet back on the old muta tent. So you'll see by this fly sheet, look at the colour, that light pale orange, that is the outside, and this you can see here, this bright orange, that's the inside, but that's the colour it should be. So it's so faded, this fly. That is because me and mates, when we was kids and that, we used this thing all the time. This would go everywhere with us. Because it was like the only tent we had between us that like 4 of us could pile in. We was only small then, so you could get like 4 of us in this, no trouble, all sleeping in it. It was the only tent we had like that. But me and one of my friends, we just absolutely loved this tent. So we used to take this thing everywhere. So that is why it's so faded. We didn't realise back then that the sun fades your tent. Like now, if it's red hot and I'm going camping, I'll try and find a bit of shade to put my tent in, because if it's going to be up for like 4 or 5 days, I don't want it sitting in red hot sun for them 4 or 5 days. It does it no good, so don't do that. One day's alright, innit? If you're out for like 1 day, alright, pitch it up in the sun and that, it don't matter. If you're away for like 2 weeks camping or whatever, try not to pitch your tent directly in banging sunshine. Or if you have to, you ain't got no choice, throw something else over the top of your tent to protect it, because the sun canes your tent. I didn't know that when I was a kid, else I wouldn't have pitched this thing out in the sun so much, because I love this old tent, and I would have not done anything to have like damaged it, but I didn't know that the sun bleached it, so that's what happened where it was used so much. So you see there, it just goes on, and then the fly, it just goes over them little spikes and you pull it down. And as you can see, like the front of this tent is still orange. That is because I used to have like a little canopy bit that went on the front of it with one little pole, and it come out the front like a little sunshade. But I don't know what happened to it, it got lost. So as you can see, it's got these bits under here. They just go on to them. And then when you pull like the guide rope out, it pulls the inner out as well as the tent. So I go round and do the other side, same. So it just goes on them little metal clips, just clips together on the little bungees, just pulls like, gives you a bit more room inside the tent basically when you pull the guides out. So you'll see like with this fly, there is nothing wrong with this fly other than then it has been bleached by the sun. That is all that was wrong with it. So where it started getting like that, like years ago, and it started looking a bit tatty and a bit faded. Well, not tatty, just a bit faded. I thought, oh, if I ever see another fly for my old false 10, I'm going to buy one. And then in that bloke's shop that I was talking about, the old second-hand camping shop, he did sell new stuff as well, but he did sell second-hand stuff. It wasn't just a second-hand shop. But I went in there one day and he had this green fly. He had nothing else with it, just a fly sheet. And I remember saying to him, is that for a Mark 5? And he's like, yeah, it's a nylon fly for a Mark 5 Vango. And I was like, oh, that'd be nice for my one. I'll replace my orange one. So I bought the fly, bought the green fly sheet, and then got it home. And me and my friend, we took the tent camping with the green fly. And we used it and both sort of agreed. We went, oh, it's not the same, is it? The tent is not the same with this fly on it. It's not the same without that big, heavy, robust canvas fly on it. It wasn't like it was the same tent. So I sort of said, I wonder if we could put this fly sheet over the top of that fly sheet so it looks green, the tent, but we still have the original fly on it. So like a few days later, we put it up in my mum and dad's back garden and got this fly sheet on and then put that green fly sheet on, and it worked. And we just both looked at each other and went, that is it, that is fantastic like that. That is how we need to use this tent. So it has been like that with the two flies ever since this tent, and I wouldn't go back to using it with one fly. I've used it too long like this. This is my false 10 and it has a double fly sheet. I would take it out sometimes with just this orange fly on it, not bother with it, and I would take it out other times with just that green fly. But when it's used properly, like me and Jessica going camping, this tent has to have both the flies on it, because it was the way I used it years ago. It was just fantastic using it like that. So it's the way I've used it more with two flies on it, this tent, than with single flies. So to me, this tent has two flies, and it was the way it will always stay like that. Both of these flies now belong to this tent, because they have been together a hell of a long time, this tent like this. I'm not sure how old this tent is. I've had this tent a long time, and I was given this like donkey's years ago by a friend of the family, and he'd had it a long time as well. So it was an old tent this when I got it. So this tent, I think it is quite an early false 10. Might not be one of the first, but it is quite an early one, this one, definitely. I'm not sure what age that green fly is. That might be a little bit later, but it's still old, that green fly, because I've had that a long time, and like I said, I bought it second hand in that man's shop, so it was already old when I got my hands on that green fly. So it is an old fly sheet, that green one. And I do like remember when I got this tent, because it was like a friend of the family, but he lived up the road. Or it was like one of the neighbours or something, really. He only lived up the road, this bloke, but he did used to come down and have a cup of tea with me mum and dad and that. And he used to like go out with them for dinner and all that. So I was like up there one day and he's cleaning out his garage. So I'm like up there talking to him and he's sorting stuff out in his garage and all that. And I've clocked this tent in now. And I've seen it in the bag. And I went to him, oh, is that a tent you've got there? He went, yeah, that's a Vango false 10. And I already knew what a Vango false 10 tent was. So I knew what it was. I went to him, oh, what is it? And he went, oh, it's a Mark 5, a canvas Mark 5. And I was like, oh, I was like, it was the first time I'd ever seen one. And it was there in the bag. And I went to him, oh, you're lucky to own that. I'd love one of them. And he went to me, do you want it? I went, what do you mean, do I want it? He went, you can have that tent. I ain't used it in ages. I've had it a long time. He went, look after it, though, and you can have that tent if you want it. Take it. So that was it. I was like over the moon. I had a Vango False 10 for nothing. I remember it because I was so like happy. I got home, I was like, oh, I got a Vango Falls 10. Yeah, it was like telling my mate and that. Round my mate's house, look what I've got. And we pitched it up in my mate's back garden. Like Vango Falls 10, yeah, it was like a proper explorer's tent. We was like adventurers in this one. Because stuff we had before this was a little bit more budget and that. This was like a proper tent that we'd seen in pictures of in books, and you'd seen this on the telly, and then suddenly we had one. So this went everywhere with us. This tent did. This was like my pride and joy, the Vango Falls 10. Yeah, no one had one of these. And I do think it was this old tent that just made me love the Vango company so much. There you have it, look, the Vango Falls 10, made in Scotland. Yeah, it was this tent, because I really loved Vango tents. I loved the company, I loved things by Vango. So it was this tent that done that to me, because this thing was like fantastic, this was. When we had this, because it was so warm and that in the winter, you'd take it out, be blowing a gale and all that, and you get inside here, and it was lovely inside there, nice and warm, lovely. So it was this tent that really made me love the Vango company, and I still love Vango to this day. I love a Vango tent, or Vango, as me and the cat say it. Go on, cat, you do it. Vango! Yeah, see, we love 'em. And this wasn't like the first Vango tent I ever had, this tent. I did have a couple before I had this one, but they was like tiny little Vango tents. I have still got them ones. I haven't done them on the channel yet. I will dig them out and get them on here. Yeah, they're like really small little old Vangos. Nice, but not like this thing. This thing was like special when we had this when we was young, because it was just so strong, this thing. We had nothing like this thing. You could take this anywhere, pitch it anywhere. You'd be warm as you like, nice and cosy. Whatever was going on outside, you didn't know about it in here. You'd just be happy in here. So, like, it sort of made it worth lugging this thing about, because we had stuff much, much lighter and smaller than this. But me and my friend used to always say, oh, shall we take the old Vango? So we take this. We just did. We loved this tent, me and my friend. We really did. I still love this tent now. And I'm looking forward to, like, bank holiday weekend, 4 nights away in it. It's going to be lovely. I was going to take me Quasar, because I love that as well. But when I said, Jess, oh, we'll take the Quasar, she was like, I've stayed in that Quasar. Can't we take something that I've never slept in? So we are taking this. But I'm happy about that, taking this. And that's what I do now, look. Because this other fly, when you do it over the top, you can't hook it onto that other fly. So I put the guide rope through it, so it attaches there, look. And then when you pull the guides out on this, it'll pull the other fly out as well, and the inner. So I just pull that guide string down and then wrap it round this peg at the ground here and just tie it off like that, and then that's all attached, isn't it? When I pull the guide out these sides, it pulls everything out with it, so you're still like maximising the room inside the tent. So yeah, it's a good little trick that. If you've got a Vango Falls 10 and you're thinking about doing the old double fly trick, that's what you need to do, so you can still pull the inner right out with your guide. Otherwise you can't attach it. So I just do the same on this side. Just thread the guide through that little bungee loop and then tie it off round the peg, and then it's all tied together, both flies. Yeah, it works really good like that. And I wonder how many of you now are at home watching this and you've got a false 10 and you're thinking, I'm going to get another fly sheet for my one. Because it's good, ain't it? You watch me do this, wait till you see it all pegged out and then you do the front and all that. It's lovely with 2 fly sheets on it, this tent, it really is. And it's got the other thing in it, where you're putting this nylon one over the top of the canvas, it's making this thing so waterproof for an old tent. You got no trouble in here with it leaking. And it is making it warmer as well. This with the double fly on, it's a lovely tent to use in the winter because it is as warm as you like in here. No wind's getting through that fly. And the only downside to the double fly trick on the false 10 is you need a ton of pegs to peg this thing out. And it takes a lot longer to peg it out, doesn't it? And pitch it. You're putting another fly on it. But I don't mind that. I love putting this thing up. It's like today, I'm really enjoying smacking this old tent up because I love this old tent. So I love pitching this one up. I haven't had it up since last year, this one. And I know Jess has never stayed in here. After our little camping weekend away, well, 4 nights we're away, what? After that, she'd be in love with this tent, because everyone who stays in this tent falls for this tent. It's a lovely tent, it is. It's a really nice one to be in. I don't know what it is, what makes it so nice, this tent. It is like the inner, I think. The inner on this is so lovely of a night when you're all laying in it and all that, and in the morning when you wake up. Such a nice place to be, the inner on this tent. It really is. So I think it's that makes it so special, this tent. And it has got that bit to it, this tent. No, like, if you got a nice car, ain't you? When you lock it and you walk away from it, you can't help but have a little look back at your car. You look back and think, oh, I like that. This tent does that. I've got a few tents that do it, but this is one of them. You won't be able to zip this tent down and all that, walk away from it like going off somewhere. You won't be able to not look back at it. You will look back at this tent and you'll think, oh, look at the old false tent, she's looking good. Now, you don't do that with all tents, but if you've got one of these, I bet you do that. Same when you walk up to it. Been out all day or something and you come back to your tent. When you're walking up to this tent and looking at it, you'll be really looking forward to getting in it. You'll look at it and think, oh, look at that lovely old false tent now. Can't wait to get inside it. And Mr. Jester Bushcraft, he's got all this to come. Because Jester Bushcraft, he's got a channel on YouTube. And he's messaged me a few times. He's just bought himself one of these Vango Mark 5s. And with it, he got a free Phoenix Freak tent. So he had a touch, Mr. Bushcraft. But because he watched my video on the old Phoenix Freak on how to pitch it up and all that, he gave me a little shout out on his channel. So his channel's called Jester Bushcraft, and if you watch the video that he done on the Phoenix Freak tent, Warrior Camping gets a mention. And he is one of us, Jester Bushcraft is, because he is a subscriber to Warrior Camping. So he is a fully fledged member of the Warrior crew. And he owns a Vango False 10 Mark 5 and a Phoenix Freak. So he is definitely one of us, because all the Warrior crew I keep talking to all seem to have a ton of tents, or they've got some classic tents, or some vintage tents. So the old Warrior crew have definitely got some fantastic tents in their collection. And look at the old Vango False 10 in all her green glory with her second fly on, her second skin. Yeah, looks good, doesn't it, with the green fly on, because it does look a bit faded, that orange one. Alright, there's nothing wrong with it, but it does look better with the green on. It looks good. It's got more of an army look to it with the old green fly on it. And that's good, because where we're going camping in it, bank holiday weekend, is a military show. So the old False 10 will look lovely in amongst all the old military tents. She'll fit right in and look at home. So let's open up the lovely old Vango False 10. So unzip the door, and it is the best bit of this tent, the inside of this tent. The outside, there's nothing special about the outside, is it? It's just like a A-frame tent, nice looking A-frame tent, but that ain't the bit that makes this tent special. The bit that makes it special is the inside of this tent. It's lovely inside there. So you see now, I'll do it like that. Unzip that front bit and flip them either side, and then you just use the zip on the inner bit to get in and out. So it looks good like that with the green and the orange. I've had people like walk past it when I've got it pitched, and they're like, "Is that Mark 5 False 10?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh, I've never seen one with the green and the orange like that." You're like, "No, mate, it's because it's got 2 fly sheets on it." People are like, "You what, mate?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's got 2 flies on it." So it does make it look a bit different, this tent, having like the orange with the green. It looks good. So you do it like that, and then you just go in and just use the zip on the orange one. But overnight, when I'm like going to sleep and that, I would zip both the zips down to proper seal it up. But over daytime, I'd just leave it like that and have just the orange. Or you just leave it open, so you tuck that bit in there and just do the other side, tuck it in the little gap between the flies, and then you can have it like that and just go in and out the front. So you just have the little gap in the middle open. So there you go, like that. It's good. Your little porch at the front, and then you do all your cooking and all that. So yeah, it's really good, this tent with the old double fly. Because of the way you just tuck that door bit in. You can do it with a single fly, but you have to do it with pegs. But when it's the double, you just tuck the bits of the fly in the gap between the 2 flies. So just chuck them out of the way, so it's easy. Like having a pocket for your door. Oh, and talking of pockets, I've still got the little bits for the top in my pocket, so let's put them on. I forgot about them. So them little caps go on the top to stop the rain going down the hole. So one at the front, one at the back. So you pop them off, and then it is all sealed up nicely. I forgot about them. Now I put them in my pocket, and then I forgot to put them on. So there they are. They are on now. So if it rains, no water is getting down into the top of the tent. So let's open up the door and have a look into the inner. Have a look at the best feature on this old Vango False 10. Because this thing is definitely up there as one of the best tents I've got like to sleep in. It's definitely a top 10. I've got some other fantastic tents that are nice to stay in. But this one has to be in the top 10. It really does, because it is like lovely in here. And it's so cosy in here, especially of a night, getting an old lantern going in here and all that. Yeah, it's really is a great tent to be in, this one. So there you go, the Vango False 10 inner. Now look at that, how great is that in there? It's the back bit that makes it good, because the back like swoops round. And where it's got them lines of the stitching that come and hang down and that, yeah, it really is nice, the inside of this tent. Really is a good inner on this. So it's got the one little pocket over that side. That's the only one you got in here. You get one little tiny pocket, and that is it. It's got no other real features going on in here. But you don't need nothing else in here. This inner is just perfect as it is. It really is a nice inner. And I like the orange. It has to be orange, the inner on this tent, isn't it? Because it is so Vango, the orange inner. And this is a classic Vango arterole. So the inner on this really does need to be orange. It just wouldn't be right, would it, if the inner was any other colour? Has to be Vango orange. So let's go back outside, and you can like roll the front right back on this tent, but you have to take it off the pegs. So if I take the 2 pegs out, and you can do either side, so I just do this side at the minute. If you have it like that, you can leave one bit of the light vegetable one side, and just unhook the other side off the pegs and then tie it back, and then whatever way the wind is blowing, you have a little shield, so you just cook up against the like windshield, innit? So it's good. You do one side or the other side depending on how the wind's blowing. So it gives you a nice shield. He opens it right up, but you still leave a bit there to stop the old wind blowing in while you are cooking. So it's good like that, this tent. But you can do both sides. So let's roll up the other side and open it right up. So you need to whip the pegs out again. And then just do exactly the same with this side. Just roll it up and it goes on little ties and like ties to the pole. So then the whole front of this tent is opened right up. I don't really use it like this much. I don't really open it right up at the front, this one. I like it with the sides down. But I'm doing it just to show you that you can do it. So there you go, it will open right up like that, the old Vango Falls 10. So on a nice hot sunny day, yeah, you can open it right up so it'll stay nice and cool inside there. And I did like use it like this years ago, because we would have took this tent fishing. So we'd have it like that with fishing rods and that set out the front. And then do fishing and that with this tent. It's done it all, this tent. It has been fishing and all that. Oi, did you say fishing? Fishy, fishy, fishy. Alright, cat, sort it out. So yeah, it was good for a bit of fishing, this tent, especially when I had like an old canopy. I had a canopy that probably come out about 3 foot at the front, and it just had one pole in the middle to hold it up, and then you put some pegs in it. It really worked well, but I don't know what happened to it. I just can't find it. So I think it has gone missing, the old canopy. And that's like more how I'd use it in the summer. Just have them green sides out. Leave them orange doors rolled up. And then just use like the inner door to go in and out of. And even of a night and that, I wouldn't really seal that up. I'd just leave it like that all the time, so it vents nice and that. If it's like hot and that in the summer, that is how I'd have it. Just like that. And then you just keep them orange ones rolled back and tied up. They're there if you want them. If it gets cold, you can put it all back into action. And I just put a little peg in the ground now, so it holds this front bit back. And the same that side, just put a peg in and hold the front bit open, so you just leave this tent like that, and then I wouldn't bother zipping that out to fly up and down. I would just leave it like that all the time and just leave that orange door. So when it's like nice and warm, that is how I'd use it. Just have it like that, and it works really well like that, 'cause you only need to do one zip and that to get in and out of it. So the old Vango Falls 10, of course it's getting a thumbs up from me. I love this tent. It really is one of my favourite tents, this thing. I absolutely love it to bits. And I'm going to give it another thumbs up because this tent is a muta. So the muta version, it's just much more robust than a normal one. And everyone that ever sees this tent or stays in it always seems to like it. Like you, mate, do you like it? You like it, don't you, fussy knickers? Oh yes, I love this old Vango Falls 10. Really is a tent fit for a king. But you, mate, do you like the old Falls 10? God, yeah, I really like it. Really, really love the old tent, that is. Strong as you like. I like that frame. That frame's lovely. And I like it with the double fly. And like old fussy knickers said, it really is fit for a king. And what about you, Cat? I know you like it, Cat, innit? God, yeah, I love this old Vango. Come on, let's go and have a bit of better look at it. Oh, it's lovely, this old Vango. Get live, get a Vango, get live, get a Vango, get live, get a Vango, get a Falls 10 made by Muta. Oh, yeah, really lovely, this old tent. And I know you was putting this up today, so did you notice I even put my green bandana on so I was matching? Right, I'm off to bed. Night. Yeah, Nightcat. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe so you can join me again. See what I'm pitching, looking at, burning or spinning. So I'm off now to sit in my lovely old false 1010. And I might get everybody together and all sing that song. So take it away, cat. A 1, 2, 3. Get a life, get a Vango, get a life, get a Vango, get a life, get a Vango, get a false 10 made by Muta. Yeah, come on, fussy knickers, all together, all join in. And you, Jester Bushcraft, come on, Jester Bushcraft, join in. And you, Jeff, ready, Jeff? 1, 2, 3. Hang on, I nearly forgot. You and all, Brian. 1, 2, 3. Get alive, get a Vango, get alive, get a Vango, get alive, get a Vango, get a false 10 made by Muta, or a mountain hardware.